I'm Michelle Nguyen. I am currently a first year at UC Berkeley, and I'm intending to major in data science.
Hi, I am Manav Dixit. I just graduated from Piedmont. I am going to be attending UC San Diego at the end of this month. I'm still on summer break. And I am also going to be majoring in data science.
My name is Jonathan, and like Jan already said, I'm going to UCLA, and I am majoring in microbiology, immunology, and molecular genetics.
I'm uyenvy. I was admitted as a biology major, but I just switched to psychobiology.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm going to UC Riverside next year, and my major is pre-business.
Okay, hi, my name's Melina, and I'm going to Santa Clara University as an undeclared major right now in the College of Arts and Sciences.
Based on where I got in, I chose UC San Diego. And honestly, before I was even applying, UC San Diego was my dream school, so I am actually pretty glad I ended up going there. But the thing about UC San Diego's data science program, it was basically the first one started in the UCs, so it's like the OG, I guess. And I really like their program, so that is why I am going there.
One of the reasons why I chose Santa Clara University was because I got a lot of financial aid from them, and also because it's close to home.
My high school stats were the following. My GPA was a 3.7, and my weighted GPA was about a 4.2 and a half. My SAT was a 1340, and I took 11 AP classes.
So UC Berkeley is the only UC in the UC system that has semesters. So we already started, and I think all the other UCs start in October, but we started, I believe, August 26th. And essentially, so there's semester and there's quarter. Semester, you have 2 semesters. It's kind of like high school. So we started around the same time as you guys, and we're also going to end around the same time as you guys. So that's going to be like early December, right before Christmas, like I guess 1 or 2 weeks before Christmas. I believe that, so you're going to take less classes because, you know, you only have 2 different types of semesters, and which means that you're going to be learning more of the curriculum of your classes. So honestly, people say it's a little bit difficult. It just really depends on how your study habits are, because you know, midterms and finals are later because it's like a longer period of time. So if you slack off and you don't study the material that you learned in the beginning of the year, it's going to bite you in the butt when you take those midterms, because they're going to have more topics on it, essentially. So yeah, that could be also a deciding factor on where you want to go to, just depending on how you study and like things like that. If you want to take more courses, I'd say go to quarter, and it's a lot faster as well, so you can just like learn it, get through it, move on. If you want to have a more in-depth like knowing of the topics, then take semester.
Clubs, yes, like I know my school has a sustainability club, which I'm really interested in, and we also have social justice organizations that I hope to join as well.
I might join like an intramural sport, so maybe tennis, and maybe a sorority, but I'm not sure yet.
For me, I did not manage it that well, but I did look up a lot of YouTube videos about how to manage your time, how to study efficiently, and that really did help. I can make a list of videos that I watched that helped me organize my time a little bit better so that I didn't have to suffer as much.
I was not really good at managing my time and stress during junior year either. I barely had any sleep, but I did take like naps after school. So like if you feel like you really need to take a nap, I suggest taking it immediately after school, so like you don't like waste homework time, you know. can set alarms and stuff. And I also like to make to-do lists to like just stay organized.
I actually already knew from the start I did not want to go out of state, so I knew I was only going to apply to UCs and like CSUs and maybe like a couple like privates like Santa Clara. I was actually taking AP Lit in senior year, so I knew I was going to lose a lot of time during the school year. So I was like, I wanted to finish everything before like my course load got insane for senior year at least, because first semester is not as easy as it may seem. So I was actually done like by the end of September with all my apps, with essays at least. But CSUs, you don't even need to write any essays. Just make sure you fill out the application with a lot of like thinking into it. Don't just because it's a bunch of information, don't just like rush through it because it's really easy to fill out, because sometimes if you make like one small mistake, it could honestly cost you. That's what I think.
For me, the application process was pretty rough. It kind of brought my mental health down, to be honest, because I was like, or my self-esteem as well, because I was just like reflecting and trying to think of like topics to write about. And I was like, wow, I'm such a boring person. And like none of these things about me are like gonna get me into like a UC, right? So it took me, I think I tried starting in July, but I didn't like finalize my topics until November, which was like almost a week or two before the application was due. But then, yeah, it was a little bit rough, but you know, you actually learn a lot from when you self-reflect and write those college essays. When I actually applied to those consulting clubs for Berkeley, I went back to the UC essays to look at it, and I honestly took some of like the things I wrote in those essays into my application. So it really did help, and it still does right now. So put your heart and soul into those applications because it's gonna mean a lot.
I don't think any clubs specifically give you an edge on your college application. I think what they're looking for is to see your commitment to your club and why you like that club and why you're in it. And they want to see also leadership, see that, you know, like you have other skills other than academics.
If you know your major, I recommend joining a club like that relates to that. So for example, if you want to be a nurse, then I would recommend volunteering at a local hospital, stuff like that. I think that helps because it shows demonstrated interest in that subject and major. So, but also I agree with what Melina has to say about dedication, and it's just they want to see the passion you have for the club you're in and the dedication.
Check like how much because each school costs money, so check how much money you're willing to spend on your apps. Don't like, if you know for sure you're not gonna, if you get in, you don't want to go to a certain school. I wish I like wouldn't have applied to those schools. Like I applied to like Merced and Riverside when I knew they weren't going to be good for my major, when I probably shouldn't have. Even though I did get in, I knew I wasn't going to go there. So safety schools, I'd say have at least one or two, maybe some state schools that would be pretty decent for your major. But I'd say, I don't know, like if you know for sure, like if it's like one school or bust, then only apply to that school if you want. If you look at your stats and actually don't get baited by your stats. You know, the college process is really a gamble. Like people with like better everything than you could honestly not, oh wait, let me rephrase that. People with everything you think is worse than you could get into the college that you wanted to go to. There's a lot of factors like what major you're applying and like who reads your essay or application. So I would say don't just settle for like the colleges that you would go to. Research and find some other ones that you wouldn't mind going to, but community is always an option.
Yeah, also I think the amount of schools you apply to really depends on your budget, because I think the UC application might be like $60 each or $70, which is really expensive. I think I paid like $420 just for UCs. And actually, there's the funny thing is that, okay, the thing about what Manav said about going, like, applying to schools that you wouldn't see yourself going to, I also second that, because the day I was going to submit my UC application, I last minute switched Riverside and Berkeley, because I knew I was never going to go to Riverside. I just never saw myself there. And I was like, you know what, it doesn't hurt to apply to Berkeley, you know? And here I am, studying at Berkeley, you know? So I think it's more valuable to spend that money on a reach school, even if you don't think you're going to get in, just apply, rather than applying for a school that you know you're going to get into, but you wouldn't see yourself there. You know what I mean? And yeah, just don't doubt yourself. You never know.
I only took 4, but yeah, I know other people who don't take like every single AP class out there, and they still get into very good schools. So I don't know, AP classes, you can also dual enroll, you know what I mean? Like, you'll get credit for that too.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I feel like AP classes are more like, sure, they give you credit if you pass your exams, but like you won't always get credit for like a certain class just because you passed that AP exam. I passed my chemistry one, but then that didn't do anything for UCLA, so yeah.
Yeah, so just to elaborate on that as well. So I took like the overkill amount of AP classes. I took like way too many, I think. And some of them weren't even useful to my major or like to my credits in college. And I think like it was just I know for sure that like 2 classes I took were just like a complete waste of time. And definitely look up like the majority of AP tests that will give you credit in college. Like I highly recommend AP Calculus, AB and BC, because those will almost universally give you credit for either 1 math class or 2 math class if you get a 5 on BC. I highly recommend AP Lang because it does take you out of the first English requirement for your college. And if you are pre-health, I recommend AP Bio, AP Chemistry, AP Psychology, and if you can fit it into your schedule, at least like 1 class of physics, and I think that's fine. But generally, I think AP Biology, AP Chemistry, and AP Psych are really good classes to take if you're pre-health.
Yeah, and if you don't like get a 5 on your calc exam, it still like prepares you very well, so I think that's good too.
So FAFSA is the most common one, and I believe it opens up on October 1st and it ends in probably like February for like priority. But I would say that you should apply as soon as possible, because the earlier you apply, the more you get, and it's determined on how much your family makes. And financial aid for private schools, I recommend doing the the CCS profile on, I believe it's on College Board website, and that helps private colleges see how much money they can give you based on their own like funding from the school. But unfortunately, you do have to pay for that. But I recommend you do that because that's what I did, and I ended up getting a lot of financial aid from them.
So for me, previously I kind of talked about how I didn't really know what I wanted to do at first, but so I'm doing data science right now, but I'm also interested in business. And a lot of people at Berkeley actually double major in economics and data science. So honestly, like there's so many people who either double major, you can triple major if anything. I know someone who's also doing that. But a lot of people do a major and a minor. So if you depending on which one you're more passionate about, like this person likes science, but he also likes art. Just depending on what you're more passionate about and what you think you can do in the future, you should major that. And if you like, let's say science, right? You can major in science and then minor in art. It just, yeah. You can do anything in college. College is like a free thing where you can learn anything you want. You just gotta make the most out of it.
I didn't want people to read mine, so I only let Miss Lee, thank you, Miss Lee, read my essay and one other person. But I do recommend getting more people to read your essays, but don't listen to everything they say because then you'll lose your voice, obviously.
Yeah. So I would have the same advice. I also did the same thing. I had a lot of people read my essays. I had like a good 5 to 7 people read my essays, and make sure they nitpick like things that weren't like fitting in with like the essay itself or like some grammar issues. And also I would like to point out that it is more of a semi-formal essay, so you can use conjunctions to really shorten your word count. And I didn't know that, and when I found out about that, it really helped me save like a lot of words for the word count, and I got more more things to say across the board for all my college essays.
Always ask your teacher really early, because a lot of students will probably ask them too, and you want to ask them like so they have time to do all their work and stuff. And also give them a brag sheet, like all your stats and stuff. That will help them a lot when writing your college application. And you want to ask a teacher who knows your skills and who can vouch for you. Say like you're in leadership, maybe you would ask Mr. Reed, who is the leadership teacher, because he can vouch for you and your skills and talk about the things that you've done.
Yeah, I agree with what Melina has to say. Don't ask a teacher you don't know that well, because what are they going to write about you? They can't say, like, I'm not saying that they won't say positive things about you, but, it'll be really general, and that's not what colleges really want. They want to know the part of you that isn't shown in your application. And make sure if they do write you a letter of recommendation, or you email them and say thank you. Always remember to say thank you after or even before. And for me personally, I just gave them like a small gift or like some candy or like a small gift card, but it's not necessary, or like a small note, just like a small thank you, like appreciation.
So, there are released online statistics on majors and getting accepted into majors with the UC system. Some majors are definitely easier than others. Generally, engineering majors are the hardest majors to get into, while more liberal artsy majors are less difficult to get into. But it does end up with your, how should I put this? It also like has to do with like your interest as well on your essays. For me personally, I wrote about being passionate in medicine and science, so I think that kind of helps me with my acceptance into my major. I know some schools do major specific acceptance, as in you get accepted into a specific major or a pre-major. But for schools like Berkeley, when you get accepted into their College of Letters and Science, you are accepted as an undeclared individual, and you don't get to choose the major until after you get accepted, or until after you're in the school.
I just want to say to work hard and really take your time and make sure you make time for your college applications, because they do take a lot of work. And honestly, if you don't get into your dream school, that's totally okay, because no matter what school you go to, you're still gonna find success in your career, and everything will just work out in the end. So don't worry too much.
this is more specific, but I think for most of the college applications, they require like a list of your extracurricular activities and like those small essays, sub-essays on why you want to go to those schools. And I recommend making a spreadsheet of like each extracurricular activity you do and a description of it. And then for some schools, it'll be like 100 words, but others will be like 50. So make sure you make that spreadsheet and fill out that 100 word, and then you can like subtract it and then make it smaller for the other schools. But just make sure you have a spreadsheet for that, because it's easier to copy and paste than typing it in every time, or like looking for that piece of information that you need. Just don't worry about the school name or the ranking. It really doesn't matter. If you have the motivation and you believe that you'll succeed, then you'll succeed.
Oh, I did want to debunk a myth though, that your senior year grades don't matter, because first of all, let me tell you this. Because of COVID, I'm gonna be really honest, 2021 is gonna have a really hard time with college things, because a lot of people in 2020 took a gap year, so now they're gonna be coming in at the same year as you guys. So there's already gonna be spots reserved for like people in 2020 who didn't wanna go to college this year. And on top of that, the summer before your senior year is a time where a lot of people do, like, I call it the flex activity, where they do an activity like a cool internship or like a cool course over the summer, which they can talk about on their thing. But your senior year grades, like, let's say you get on a lot of wait lists, doesn't just mean that, oh, I'm on a wait list, I just wait. There's a thing called LOCI, which are letters of continued interest. Some schools require them, others don't, but you should just send them anyway, where you kind of talk about what you've been doing since you applied to college. And one of the things that they would like to see is that you maintained your grades in your senior year, so you still like cared about it, and you continue to do the activities, or maybe you even started something new, which that's why I think senior year grades are still pretty important, even once you get into, or even once college apps are done. Oh, this is off like related, but get your license. It's really useful.
Get your license. Yeah, so some advice for the UC app. When you're asking people to revise it, because you should, don't ask a bunch of people. Ask like 1 or 2 people that you trust. I asked people older than me because they've done it before, so they know like what's good and what's bad from their perspective. Because when you ask a lot of people, they're just gonna give you different opinions, and you're just gonna be so lost on what to take and what to not take. So yeah, find like 2 people you trust and you think that will actually help you and actually know who you are as a person, so that they can help you reflect your own personality into those essays.
And before I end off this segment of the interview, or this episode, I do have a recommendation of Jonathan Phan's YouTube channel. It will be posted down in the link. Will be posted down in the little area, and there he could tell you about his stats and his journey of like going through like college and stuff like that, and passing through all this high school and AP classes, and his vlogs are there too. So I do recommend that if you guys want to know how he went through his entire journey, and hopefully in any other case you guys would really enjoy it.
Yeah, and I would also like to input my friend's podcast in the element. It would also be linked in the box down below. Description. Yeah, in the subscription. They do feature subscription. It will be. It will just be in the box down below, and it does feature our class valedictorian Jerry Su, and another class valedictorian, Andrew Wang, who will be hosting the podcast. They do really go really deep into the college application process, and they are a little bit more blunt than we are during this interview. So I highly recommend watching that. It's a bit long, but there are timestamps down below, and just click around. There's a lot of useful information in there, and these are the smartest kids in the school, so like you will be getting the best information.
Period.
All right, so that's all for today, folks. Thank you for participating, and thank you for watching, whoever is right now viewing this video. Good luck to everyone who's applying to college, and well, have a great day. Bye bye. Bye guys.
Bye.